So the Alabama Supreme Court cites wrath of a holy God while claiming frozen embryos are actually children. Jeez, this is from Hemant Mehta's Substack here, and we're gonna talk about it. But he has it's called the Friendly Atheist. It used to be the Friendly Atheist blog. Now it's the Friendly Atheist Substack, which I think we could all support a little bit since he is so helpful and has been so helpful for all of us in the community for a long time. So, but we're gonna get into it. This is insane. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna read the whole thing, and yeah, I am Brentley, and this is the Punk Apostate. Let's go. So I'm gonna take comments periodically, but I want to try to get through this as much as possible. But I am gonna like stop every so often and just go through comments, and we can kind of discuss what we're talking about here. But I'm after that I'm gonna take this and I'll edit it down into like an actual video. But I wanted to do it live so that we could all still hang out and do what we normally do. I'm just gonna kind of try something a little different. I feel like I've done this a few times before, and it went really well. So let's just give it a shot, right? So I think I'll do. Does that one look good? No, hold on. Where's it? Where's a different one? There we go. Okay, that'll work. All right. So what we got here? So the headline is Alabama Supreme Court cites wrath of a holy God while claiming frozen embryos are children. Like you're just already like, what, man? Like it's almost like a comic level of silly, when they're like, oh yeah, like when you almost, it's like that reductio ad absurdum, right? And you're trying to like take them back to the most silly thing. You're like, what about the embryo? Is that a person? Okay. I mean, no, not exactly. Okay, the embryos aren't exactly people. What are frozen embryos just like society's people in there? Like, I don't know. I honestly don't know how many embryos are in, so I don't, But however, well, it's like a family of people, right? Like, I don't know how many are in there, but usually the pro-life person would be like, no, okay, no, that's not, embryos aren't people. But now here we are, and they're people now. It's funny because like they're always like citing like slippery slopes for like the other side, for the left, or for the godlessness of it all, and they're the ones always slipping and sliding down the slopes. You know what I mean? It's really obnoxious. Uh, they're always pointing to our slopes, and there's nothing happening on ours. But theirs, they're just tripping and falling down the slopes. Now, fucking embryos are people, that you can get charged for if you drop. But anyway, let's get into the actual article here. So, between 2013 and 2016, 3 sets of parents in Alabama underwent in vitro fertilization treatments, hoping it would lead to the birth of a child. While some embryos were then implanted into the patient's bodies and led to successful births, others were placed in cryogenic nursery, a cryogenic nursery, okay, at the Center for Reproductive Medicine, remaining frozen until further notice. That's so funny. They call it a cryogenic nursery. That's just, I don't know. It's kind of, the whole thing seems very sci-fi when you use the word cryogenic. But I mean, I know that it's an actual science word, but it just sounds, you just automatically think of like, oh shit, what was that movie? The one where Sylvester Stallone gets frozen or whatever and has to go back. Anyway, um, it's and so Demolition Man. That's the one that I was, that's the one I'm thinking of right there. I'll do this one. How about that? There we go. Let's see. Then we get equal of both. All right. So the 3 sets of parents eventually sued the Center for Reproductive Medicine. Oh, whoops. I'm sorry. In 2020, a patient at the hospital slipped into the fertility clinic via an unsecured doorway. What? A patient got in? Weird. Okay. into the fertility clinic via unsecured doorway and got access to the freezer. Jeez Louise, so you can just waltz in this place, huh? You just like waltz in and be like, nah, it's cool. I'm just grabbing something out of the freezer. I think I left my ice cream in there. My concrete mixer is still in the fucking. What is happening? So they just let it. Okay, so they got in, went to the freezer. He removed the embryos, and then, likely due to their ice cold temperature, dropped them. The embryos were destroyed. Ooh, I bet that whole, that weird thing happened when you like touch something that's too cold and your fingers like stick to it, like it's just like super glued onto that. And you're like, ah, I bet you that's what happened just before the mass murder of embryos. The three sets of parents eventually sued the Center for Reproductive Medicine and the group overseeing it, the Mobile Infirmary Association. And the group overseeing it. Okay. They said that the hospital's negligence led to the destruction of their embryos in violation of Alabama's Wrongful Death of a Minor Act. Okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. That place definitely should have been more secure, don't you think? Like that's that makes sense. Like it definitely should have been secured. But taking it to the level of saying, that these are minors or whatever, that's insane. What? Why would it be like that? All right. So to put that another way, they sued the hospital for killing their babies, arguing that life begins at conception, not birth. So the hospital asked the courts to reject the lawsuits because embryos aren't people. Fucking duh. Like, yeah, of course. And the law only applied to people. Indeed, that's what Circuit Court Judge Jill Parrish Phillips said in her decision in April of 2022. She wrote that a frozen embryo wasn't a minor child, obviously, because that's ridiculous. The plaintiffs appealed the decision, and the Alabama Supreme Court has now reversed the ruling, insisting on a 7-2 vote that embryos are indeed minor children, that unborn children fall under the definition of minor child. Jesus. And that therefore the families have every right to sue the clinic. It's amazing to me that the people that get so mad about definitions, like man and woman, they get all mad about those definitions. They get to just redefine, an embryo as as a minor child. What? How? Oh God! What has got to happen in your brain? Like that's where you just get so far down the diluted path that's just you can just make up whatever you want, I guess, at that point, right? Just as disturbing, the decision the decision itself is how much theology is baked into the all Republican court's decision. In a concerning opinion, Chief Justice Tom Parker couldn't stop bringing religion into the picture when explaining the sanctity of unborn life, which is so ironic because if the Bible says, like, if you go to Numbers chapter 5, Numbers chapter 5, verse 11, it like tells you basically that if a man even believes that his wife is pregnant from somebody else, that's all it takes. He doesn't have to be right. He just has to think he's right, which, go figure. That's sort of their whole thing, right? If he just believes that she's pregnant from somebody else, he can take her to the rabbi. He gives her this poisonous water, and it makes her sick, and it forces a miscarriage. That's in the Bible. So the sanctity of life bullshit, and then using the Bible as a standard. The Bible is very clear, and it's the ironic part is I always say this. I would look. I always take the biblical view, right? The biblical view is that life starts at first breath. That's my opinion. If we're going to draw this line, it's an arbitrary line. It can be drawn anywhere. It's just like adulthood. People are like, oh, at 18, really? You think 18 is adulthood? Have you met a fucking 18-year-old? Are you kidding me? They look like they haven't even gotten their driver's license yet. They somehow look 13. It's amazing. I guess that's the older you get, the younger people look. I don't know. But 18-year-old, are you fucking kidding me? But yeah, that's the line that we've drawn. 18 is mostly for military reasons, right? So that they can go serve in the military. But the point is, like, humans don't develop on this like absolute path, like where it's, oh, this is exactly where they become, this, or exactly become an adult at exactly at this time, however much time, that's exactly. No, man, it's not an exact thing, and each, I'm sure, development is different, on some level, right? I mean, I could definitely see that as far as like people becoming adults, because there's some people that I'm like, they're in their 20s and I'm, nope, you're still not an adult yet. Nope. Nah. Now we're gonna have to give it like 10 more fucking years because you just didn't. Okay. And to be fair, I'm talking about myself right now. Okay. I was definitely not an adult until I was easily into my 30s. Okay. I'm just being honest here. But yeah, so but the point is, it's an arbitrary line. We could draw it anywhere. And the reason that they want these lines drawn where they want these lines drawn is because it serves multiple functions for them. First of all, it makes it, it manufactures desperation, forcing people to have kids that they don't want, and and it creates that desperation. But then it's also a wedge issue that they can use for politics, right? And but this one is like actually kind of a this one was kind of surprising. I'm going to be honest, being like, oh no, you're not allowed to use in vitro fertilization because that's anti my religion. So now they're all about like life and forcing everybody to have babies that they don't want, but now they're not letting people have babies that they do want. So what has happened? Like, I don't. Anyway, let me just keep reading this fucking thing, right? Let's see. So where are we leaving? The plaintiff appealed the decision, and the Alabama Supreme Court has now reversed the ruling. Oh yeah, we did that. Minor child. Just as disturbing as the decision itself is how much theology is baked into the all Republican court's decision. In a concurring opinion, Chief Justice Tom Parker couldn't stop bringing religion into the picture when explaining the sanctity of unborn life. So this they do. I think this is the actual opinion. But here it is. The Alabama Constitution's recognition that human life is an endowment from God emphasizes a foundational principle of English common law, which has been expressly incorporated as part of the law of Alabama. But the principle itself that human life is fundamentally distinct from other forms of life and cannot be taken intentionally without justification has deep roots that reach back to the creation of man in the image of God. What the fuck does that matter? Like, what? It's so weird when they do this, but they're created in the image of God. So what, man? What? Well, who cares? Like, and is that? I don't even understand how they have that as an argument. 90 times, 9 times out of 10, they're just like, well, things matter because we were made in God's image. How does that? Okay, but that's not really a reason. You're just like, I think that we sort of look like the magic thing, so therefore, people matter. What? That's not a okay. Finally, the doctrine of sanctity of life is rooted in the sixth commandment: "You shall not murder." Unless God orders it, of course. Including genocides, the genocides that God did order. I don't know. There are a lot of caveats to the "you shall not murder" thing. According to God, anyway. In summary, the theologically based view of the sanctity of life adopted by the people of Alabama, So they're basically just saying, look, our state is, a Christian nationalist state because all the people here are Christians. When no, the fuck they're not, man. But anyway, let me get that. God made every person in His image. To each person, therefore, has a value that far exceeds the ability of human beings to calculate. And 3, human life cannot be wrongfully destroyed without incurring the wrath of a holy God. Fucking what, man? Okay, where's it? Well, can we just leave it to just Him? That's my question. I mean, like, okay, cool. So then you don't have to do anything legal about it because we'll just let the wrath of the totally existent God take care of it. Okay, you don't have to even worry about it, right? Because you're super powerful, all God that's going to be all wrathful if we drop a vial of fucking embryos or whatever. Let Him do the thing. Okay. Let's see. Without who views now the wrath of the holy God. This is they're talking about His views now. who views the destruction of his image as an affront to himself. Like he told me, he told me. Section 3606. This is all in legal terms. Like this is recognizes that this is true of unborn human life. No less of it is of all other human life. That even before birth, all human beings bear the image of God, and their lives cannot be destroyed without effacing His glory. They forget to capitalize. Um, the people of Alabama have declared the public policy of his state to be that unborn human life is sacred. We believe that each human being, from the moment of conception, is made in the image of God, created by Him to reflect His likeness. It is as if the people of Alabama took what was spoken of the prophet Jeremiah and applied it to every unborn person in this state. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you. Jeremiah, like there's literal fucking Bible verses here. All three branches of government are subject to a constitutional mandate to treat each unborn human life with reverence, carving out an exception for people in this case, small as they were, would be unacceptable to the people of this state who have required us to treat every human being in accordance with the fear of a holy God who made them in his image. For these reasons, and for the reasons stated in the main opinion, I concur. Jesus fucking Christ. This is insane. Man, it doesn't make. I just don't understand how we could. I thought we got rid of spectral evidence. How do we have this as evidence? You know what I mean? So we can't. I mean, it's functionally, as far as I can tell, the same thing. If you could point and be like, I think that they this person's a murderer or whatever. I saw it in my brain vision that my holy ghost like thing gave me in my brain. It made me see it. So put them in jail. Put them in jail. In fact, stake them and burn them. That's it. Jesus, like how is that any different than this? They're just pointing to their imaginary nonsense and being like, but see how look how much we look just like the God that made us. So that's how we know the God's there, first of all, because look at us, we look just like him. Coincidence? I think not. Image of God, boom. And then so we have to treat a vial of embryos like they are actual entire people. And you point, and they're like, why should you think that? And they're pointing to the fucking nothing, going, because the magic thing. That's why, because of the magic thing. Check it out. Look. It said, so fucking insane. All right, let me get some comments here for a bit. And like I said, I'm just going to do a chunk and then do some comments and then do another chunk, and then we'll go like that. That works. If that works for y'all, works for me anyway. Logan, hey, Logan's here. All right, you made it. Said, yo, punk, what's up? Hey. Let's see. Drizzle said, hey. Let's see. Michael said, I hate the Bible Belt and I live here. Oh, shit. Really? Yeah. I mean, I don't know what I'm in. I'm in the Bible socks, I'm not. It's not exactly the Bible Belt, but Florida, it kind of looks like a sock. And so I assume that the people who have the belts on also are wearing the socks, the Bible sock. So I don't know. But yeah, it sucks down here too, man. So I get it, It's tough all over, to quote Cheech and Chong. All right. Logan said Hemant Mehta is a boss. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. He makes my, I discovered, because for the longest time I couldn't find his stuff, because the Pathos or whatever kicked the Friendly Atheists off of their platform because they were like, trying to appease the religious people, I guess. So he didn't have any real place to post or whatever. So I assumed, whenever I hear Substack, I assume that you pay for it, but he has it up there for free. You can just donate if you want, which I, definitely think we should do, right? I'm definitely going to be putting some money towards it because it's just so helpful, for all of us to be able to get our news and everything, and all the links and everything. Andy double checks everything. It's just an amazing Substack, honestly. Like, so yeah, Emmett Man is fucking great. And Michael agrees. Yeah, and I agree with you agreeing with that. So Logan Fisher said, "It's biting them in the ass because now a failed IV, in virtual fertilization is technically murder." Oh, yeah, because when you're putting things in these terms, it gets really stupid really quick because it's so obvious that these aren't the way that they are acting like it is. Like these aren't actual people, man. Like you have to fundamentally misunderstand just what a human is in order to think that these things are actual humans, it's a potential, it could be, but we shouldn't treat potentials as if it's a definite. And same thing with with the fetus or whatever. They always treat it like it's a definite, this thing's definitely going to turn into a person someday, and that's just not true. It's like a, what is it, 1 out of 5 chance that they, even if they want, to have the fetus become a person, it's, 1 out of 5 chance it's not going to happen, just because that miscarriages are that common. I could be mistaken on that. I feel like I checked on that though, but let me know if I'm off on that. What? Like I said, goddamn mandated birth. Oh, mandated birthers. I thought you said brothers. I was like, what? Mandated brothers. Okay, yeah, yeah. Basically, forced birth. And just not giving birth is murder somehow. It's just ridiculous. It's like it completely removes like what the problem, like the whole purpose of like why murder is bad just gets thrown out the window with this. You know what I mean? Like it's just it makes no sense. The reason that murder is wrong is because the people that actually do exist, you know, have a life that they are living and everything, and have loved ones and all this other stuff. That a fetus does not have any of that. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's see what we got here. Miss Katonic said, "What is your boggle, sir? My boggle. I don't play that game. Okay, I don't like board games that much. And what is it? Boggle? That's not a board. Is that a board game? It's not. Okay. I don't. Well, I don't know. I don't know what a boggle is. Do you? I thought that was a board game. Isn't that the kind with the little bubble in the middle or whatever? I don't know. Fucking. I don't remember that. It's like it's probably in the closet with "Don't Wake Daddy" or whatever the fuck. You know. Let's see. Michael liked that one. That was a good joke. Uh, Well, because I'm imagining Newman taking eggs in Jurassic Park. That's so funny you said that. That was literally my exact image in my head was when the person was dropping it, and they got it out of the fridge. It was like it pulls it out of that thing, like, oh, it's too cold, and drops. That's exactly what my mind where my mind went. Jesus. I know. It's a minor. Come on. It's ridiculous. I mean, they're like technically it's a minor, so like, not allowed to get married unless they're in like Kentucky or wherever the fuck they did that, or Oklahoma. I don't know. I mix up those states. One of the fucking states that you could marry a minor, like children could get married. But the queer community is the fucking groomers, right? Jesus Christ. Well, I know. Miniature more than minor. Miniature more than minor. Yeah, I mean a little bit, right? Um, let's see. Like right. Wolfo said, "Hello." Oh, that's just a cool way. That's like a video game way to say hello. Just saying. Yeah, that's a gamer hello. Just so everybody's familiar. We're not talking about the new Amazon show, or was it Amazon? I don't know. Just saying hello. Just a gamer saying hello. Let's see, for fuck's sake, so stupid. I know. It's just like anything they can do to make things difficult, it seems, to appease their fucking insane, cult followers, their nutbag religion. Now they won't even let people like give birth if they want to. It's like they're trying to stop people from forcing people to give birth when they don't want to, and not give birth when they do want to. It's fucking ridiculous. Logan said, the people should definitely be compensated for the error. Absolutely. I totally agree. But it's definitely not murder. Right. This is insane. Like, it's one thing, and yeah, they should definitely be compensated for that. Um, and they definitely need to have their security updated. If people could just like walk in there, and also just walk into the freezer. Like, there's no fucking locked doors in this place. What's happening? How do they? That's insane. Like, the freezer's not even locked. What the fuck? You'd think like a place like that would have those like badges. You have beep, and then like the door opens, like a fucking Stranger Things type of like facility. You know what I'm saying? Jesus. Michael said, in Oklahoma, a woman was put in jail for a miscarriage. God damn, this is insane. Yeah, was that the one where it was like misuse of a feet or of a corpse or whatever? Because the fetus like came, she didn't realize she was pregnant. The fetus came out in the toilet. She didn't know she was pregnant. Had a miscarriage. Came out in the bathroom, and then they're like, but you didn't preserve the corpse. The fucking glob of shit that came out. So fucking stupid, man. Redefining terms like this just causes so many problems. And it's like, dude, all we got to do is just not define terms this way. And it solves all the fucking problems that this dumb shit creates. And keep in mind, this stuff was all just created as a political wedge issue. These people don't actually fucking care about this shit. It's just a lie. The problem is they've brainwashed so many people that they've gotten people to care when it was never supposed to be like that. And then those people that they brainwashed into caring so much then got power, then took it, then basically the tail's wagging the dog. Now, now they basically won the wedge issue. And now all the politicians are kind of like, fuck, now you just messed up our motivating force. It's so stupid. But let's see here. Miss Katonic said Thomas Paine wrote the best description of theology that I've ever read. Thomas Paine. I'll have to check that out. I don't know if I've the name sounds familiar, but I don't know if I know exactly what you're referring to. Logan said, should probably lose your job if you can't keep church and state separated. Seriously. I mean, that's a foundational. I mean, that's literally the first, what is it? The first line of the first clause of the First Amendment is, we'll make no law respecting a religion. What the fuck is this thing that I'm reading? Sure, it certainly sounds like they're fucking respecting a religion on paper, in legal terms. They're respecting a religion that is, by definition, unconstitutional. The first you can't read the Constitution within 2 seconds of not realizing that that's unconstitutional. It's right at the fucking beginning. It's all the firsts. It's the first everything. Says you can't mix this shit. God damn. Let's see. Michael said he did indeed. Yeah. Ms. Katonic said if God has a problem with the way we do things, he is more than welcome to tell us himself. Should be easy for an omnipotent being. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. They're like, you're going to, what do they say, incur the wrath of the holy God or whatever. It's like, cool, let it. We'll deal with them, because y'all are the fucking difficult ones. He seems to not really give too much of a fuck, right? It's you guys that are difficult here, with all your brainwashing, of your crazy base. Andrew said, hey, Cheer, what's up? Why did he quote 2 different translations of the Bible? Cherry picking much? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's funny. I didn't even realize that. They cherry pick so much. He's like, the wording's not right in this Bible. Can you give me another one? Just give me another one. Hold on. Yeah, that one's not good either. Keep them coming. What's this one? The amplified. Good. All right. Nah, it's still not specific. Jesus. Insane. Let's see. Yeah, this is my opinion, I think, as well. Let me make sure though. Frank, hey, what's up, Frank? It said if a child is born, then it's alive. Before that, it isn't. Otherwise, only a few living cells would already be alive. Where is the line? They don't care at all about the life of the girl who is pregnant. Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole thing. And that's why I always bring up breath and breathing, right? Because how many alive things are you aware of that don't fucking breathe? And for the longest time, I was like, oh, well, they have gills or whatever, right? Because there's those things on their neck or whatever that almost look like gills, but they're not. They're not gills. They don't. They don't breathe. They soak in the fluid or whatever, but they're not breathing. When they get, the doctor slaps their ass and they go, then they breathe. That's the moment, as far as I can tell, when we should go, okay, they if they take that first breath and then keep breathing, alive, otherwise not. That's my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. Seems and that's also the biblical opinion. That's why I'm just like, I don't understand. That's why it's so funny when I'm talking to pro-lifers. I'm like, oh, I actually take the biblical stance and go with first breath. They're just like, what? No, you can't do that. It's not biblical. That's not biblical. And then I'm like, read your fucking book, man. Yeah, it is. Let's see. To be Flair said, hey, to be Flair, what's up? Glad to finally catch you live. Hell yeah. Awesome. Yeah, glad to have you here. It's cool. Answer said, hey, to be saying hi to everybody. No, that's all right. Everybody, it's good to say hi. It's a very welcoming community, but it causes me to have to scroll down. But that's good. That means I have fewer comments than I thought I'd have to get through. So we're good. Michael said, Bible Belt covers Florida. Oh, it does. Who wears their belts all the way down there? What, their socks have belts too? Is that what okay. Big ass fucking belt. That's all I'm saying. Why is it the belt? Like, is that like, I don't understand this metaphor. Is it a metaphor? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Is it supposed to look like we have a panhandle? Is it like that? Because apparently we look like a pan, and there's a handle that's basically just I don't know, even somehow even more country than like just above it in Alabama and shit. But anyway, I digress. Let's see. Oh man. Oh shit. Okay. So you're in the state that we're in, Florida, where I'm at, in Texas. We're in like a perpetual dumbass off. And I don't even know who's winning. It's constantly a photo fucking finish with these two dumbass states. It's like, Jesus. Um, let's see. Oh, good. We're gonna install. Oh, what is your boggle, sir? Oh, from that. Okay, thank you. I haven't seen that movie in a while. Now I'm gonna have to. Now you're making me have to go watch it again. I do love that movie, but that's funny. I totally forgot about that line. That's hilarious. Is that like what's your problem? That's like future. That's like future for what's your fucking problem, dude? Oh, that's right, because they can't swear. You get a ticket and it prints out of a printer next to you if you swear. That's such a good movie, dude. Now I want to go watch it. Miskatonic said, I was quoting Demolition Man, the future people referred to problems as boggles. Got it. Yep. Okay. That's awesome. And it is a word game. Thank you. All right. Answer is here to defend my position that boggle is a word game. Dice with letters in a box. That's right. With slots for dice. You shake up the letters, let them fall into the slots, and try to find words. I used to play it with my grandma all the time. Okay, so it is a game too. All right, that's funny. I wasn't sure I was doing there. If I was like way off. Al said, "What the fuck have I missed out on? I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have an uninformed yet strong opinion on it." These in Alabama, somebody broke into a place where they do in vitro fertilization and dropped a vial of embryos, and they're basically the people whose embryos they were donated from. They are saying that they murdered their children because of Alabama's nonsense laws, and that's where we're at. Let's see. Miskatonic said cherry picking is the foundation of griftianity. Griftianity. I like that. That's griftianity. That's awesome. That's a punk album right there. That's I'm gonna have to remember that. That's a punk album, and it's you could have it like spelled in graffiti because it almost kind of looks like graffiti. Anyway, so yeah, that's a great idea. Andrew said there was another case in Oklahoma where a woman who was a drug user got pregnant, didn't know it, continued to use drugs, miscarried, and got charged with murder because she used drugs to kill it. Yeah, God, that one made me so sick. I was so mad about that one because I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? Really? So now if you just do drugs, and you're pregnant, and I just feel like that, and with the slippery slopes that they're constantly kicking the ball down, you know, now I'm starting to wonder, okay, well, if they do that, if they're going to control like that type of shit, are they going to control your diet as well? Are they going to control everything? Anything that could possibly influence the fetus inside, that you are now under the government's control and you cannot eat your like food that you want to. You can go to prison for smoking a cigarette or whatever if you do. There's so many fucking things that this opens the door to, and it's just really dangerous. It's crazy. What's up? D's here. Sparks literally fly when a sperm and egg hit it off. Chemists help detect how the fertilized mammalian egg releases from its surface billions of zinc atoms in zinc sparks, one wave after another. Huh, it's fascinating. I'm very unfamiliar with the science of that, but it sounds very interesting. Mole- Molecular firework. Hell yeah, I love it. I could just like picture a little rom-com, and it's the end of the rom-com where they finally, they hated each other at first, they didn't, they weren't getting along. And then, they have to do all the, and then they chase them through the rain, probably in the street of New York or something like that. Get to the car, and then give the whole speech, and then right there, boom, molecular fireworks just in the background, and it's the big happy ending. Anyway. Let's see a couple more. Aaron Jerry said Florida and Oklahoma are pansexual. They have panhandles. Nice. That's why I feel so comfortable here in Florida, being that I'm pansexual and all. Ember, hey, what's up? There's a lot of science behind first breath. Long story, another time. Too long to to read. The one thing the Bible and science agree on, and apologists can't use it because of their own politics. I know that's what's so funny about this is the Bible actually says something correct, and because of their political goals of forcing manufactured desperation, they're like, nah, never mind. Bible's actually wrong about that. So stupid. My goodness. All right, let me get back to the thing here. Oh, fuck. There we go. So, where are we at? Okay. It's telling that Parker uses "we" as synonymous with the people of Alabama, as if an Alabama law passed by conservative zealots truly represents everyone rather than a select group of fundamentalists, as if there's nothing he can do to stop it, as if everyone belongs to the same faith. That also happens to be his own. Yeah. Last year, Parker welcomed Christian nationalist Sean Fuchs to the state with what amounted to a sermon celebrating Jesus. Good God. It's so crazy that they can get away with this. Like any other fucking religion would be, vilified if they did this. This is the same pro-life Supreme Court, by the way, that recently allowed a man to be executed by nitrogen hypoxia, an experimental method that had never before been tried on humans. Goddamn. Parker dissented in a particular case, but 6 of his colleagues were fine with it. The execution was widely seen as a disaster. Jesus, these people are fucking backwards. It's so weird. How is it? Here's what kills me about a lot of this shit, right? Is that they they have this like, oh, don't trust the government, and we can't, they're probably stealing votes and all this. Like, we can't trust the government. They're all buying mail. But then they'll trust them, but they're like, oh no, but we have to let the government kill people though. What? Wait, hold on. Do you trust the government or not? Which is it? And they're like, oh no, we totally trust the government with killing people, but not giving birth. That's a crime because that's basically murder. It's like, what the fuck how are you this backwards? What is happening? This is like Jesus Christ. So let's see. The effect of this ruling can't be overstated. If the 5 main fertility clinics in Alabama. There's only 5. Oh, okay, the main. Okay. Fertility clinics in Alabama can now be sued over embryos that aren't implanted for whatever reason. You can bet they'll shut down altogether, of course, depriving otherwise infertile couples from having a baby at all. That's partly because to save time and money, fertility clinics create multiple embryos in case an implanted one fails, or the couple chooses to have more children in the future. Yeah, because it's actually not that. I mean, there's a likelihood here, and the odds actually aren't that great. That's why it's funny. I just remember this from Friends, with Phoebe or whatever. And they're like, oh, we got to stick like 7 embryos in there, and then of course she ends up having triplets or whatever, right? But yeah, they have to, like, they have a bunch of extras, because it's not exact, you know, and you need some wiggle room, and they're not fucking people. That too, that little fact, you know. Jesus. So that's what the Medical Association of the State of Alabama wrote in a brief to the court before the ruling. The increased exposure to wrongful death liability, as advocated by the appellates, would at best substantially increase the costs associated with IVF. So they've basically just made it super fucking expensive if they haven't shut down altogether, right? More ominously, the increased risk of legal exposure might result in Alabama's fertility clinics shutting down and fertility specialists moving to other states to practice fertility medicine. Yeah, and they're just basically they're going to like force everybody to basically just have to leave, right? That's almost what it seems like. Parents pay to store unused embryos, but sometimes embryos are destroyed or donated for research if there are genetic problems or if they are unlikely to develop normally in utero. That's a really good Nirvana album. I don't know. That's where my mind goes. Anyway, the Medical Association said requiring fertility clinics to store all unused embryos further would push up the costs for patients. By forcing clinics to store all embryos indefinitely, or else, the burden will become so overwhelming that it'll be much easier to shut down entirely than risk litigation. It's a dangerous combination of anti-abortion zealots believing every sperm is fucking sacred, and Republican judges pretending that an acorn is the same as an oak tree because their God says so. And for some police, I guess the acorn's also like a reason to just shoot mercilessly at your own vehicle. Anyway, that's a whole different thing. It's an uncommon belief among conservatives, though. In 2022, his name's Dusty Deevers. Why does that sound like that's a Marvel character? That can't be right, right? That's a superhero. That's like Daredevil's friend or something, right? Dusty Deevers, come on. What? Now a GOP state senator in Oklahoma delivered a sermon in which he railed against IVF, saying that the embryos were incarcerated in frozen prisons. What, man? Oh my God, they're little tiny incarcerated little prisons in there. They're little jails, Like, what are you talking about? Incarcerated in frozen prisons. That is so funny. What the fuck? Referring to them as Cairo orphans? Jesus fuck. And we're trying to make them not orphans, dude. That's why we're storing them so that we can find a family to take care of, so they wouldn't be. Anyway, I'm not gonna. I don't know why I'm trying to respond to that nonsense. And urging the audience to love their embryonic neighbors. Jeez. What the fuck is happening? He also argued that parents who use IVF were waging an assault against God. What? Last November, a Catholic church in Florida refused to rent space to a woman who had publicly celebrated her IVF treatments. Really? Just getting in vitro fertilization is like that bad to them? That's so weird. And I remember my family being like, "Oh, we don't like that. Like, we don't like that." But it wasn't like it was this fucking, we're gonna like stop you from being able to like rent spaces at churches or whatever. It's just like, oh, we think you should do it naturally. But it's like, well, of course, but what if you can't, What if that's not an option? Then you just can't. God said that you don't get to have kids. It's like, what the fuck? Gross, man. 13. Now only 12% of Americans said IVF was morally wrong. Weird. The 12% even is throwing me for a loop here. People think it's morally wrong. Like, I could see it being like, it's not ideal, but morally wrong? The fuck, man? That's insane. Has now become the basis for Alabama law with the help of GOP lawmakers and their allies on the state Supreme Court. And there's already proof that this decision is reverberating with right-wing with right-wing group Liberty Council already calling on Florida to make its law just as extreme. Jesus. Okay. So, yeah, I guess I'll be ready for that here then, because it doesn't really seem to be a whole lot of stupid that doesn't happen here in my state of Florida. So, yeah, no, that's absolutely going to happen. Jesus, that's insane. Wow. I'm so disappointed. This is why I don't like do news a lot of times, because I'm just like, oh my God, this fucking place. Everybody's so stupid, and they're all so harmful, man. Like, how do they not get just how harmful this shit is? Let's see, where are we at? Bonrick, what's up, man? Why are we not charging the negligent father who did not provide proper emotional and monetary support, which lead to this woman taking drugs? I mean, yeah. Oh, okay. You're talking about the other instance of the woman who had a miscarriage while using, because she didn't know she was pregnant, and they charged her for murder. So now you're saying, uh, why didn't they go after the father? I know, it's kind of amazing. I mean, couldn't you even do that in this situation? Like, why? Like, you know what I mean? Like, all the embryos. Like, hey, who's paying child support for these embryos? You know, there seems to be this, like, they're not being taken care of. They don't have a relationship with their father. Like, this is all a problem. Yeah, because it's so stupid. Because these things aren't the same. Embryos aren't fucking children. This is, wow, it's so insane that they can do this and then get mad over definitions of gender. I'm sorry, but that just blows my mind that they can play with fucking definitions to the point where words don't work at all, with the embryos being, fully functional fucking people, right? Just waltzing around in the goddamn vial. But, if people don't have the exact, you know, uh, equipment down below here, they can't, refer to themselves as male, woman, or whatever, the way that they want them to. You can't express your gender the way that, we have to listen to them say who's allowed to express their gender and how. But they get to, like, redefine terms over here. It's fucking so goddamn hypocritical. Michael said, I disowned my dad over his devout Catholic bullshit. Right? He's a mandated birther. Oh, damn. To be silent is to give consent. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. You gotta look. I mean, family's fine, but if they're toxic, then then just leave them. Let them do their thing. That's what I say. I try to just, I don't hate my family or anything. Or I don't, my mom's very much so forced birther, and yeah, I love my mom and everything, and I don't, like, do all the family stuffs and everything just because I'm like, I don't want, I can tell that me just being there, like, makes them uncomfortable, first of all. And second of all, I don't want to have to deal with all the religious shit. And, third of all, I'm not trying to, like, upset them or whatever, or, like, have all this fucking tension. It's like, go do your religious thing, whatever. Give me a call if you want to talk, but that's it. That's where we're at. But anyway, but yeah, I get that, let's see. Phonics it. Oh, this is saying hi. Oh, is that Deep State Annex made it? All right, you made it today. Okay. All right. Oh, it's all right. Let's see here. Free. It's like Save Ferris, but it's like free the embryos. Free the embryos from their frozen prison. Sounds like it's Lex Luthor or something. They're in a frozen prison. Like, this sounds like something like from a Superman comic book or some shit. What the fuck, man? So stupid. Miskatonic said, why does God never hit back after being assaulted by mere humans? That is an excellent question. which is like why I think that we should be able to say, okay, cool, man. If it's the wrath of God, then y'all don't need to do nothing. We'll let him take care of his own wraths. Okay, I don't know why your all-powerful God needs you to do anything for his wrath. Let him wrath himself. Okay, he can do his own wrath battle. Okay, wrath battle. Jesus. Um, Jesus fucking Christ, are you sure you're reading this right? What the fuck? Yeah, no, I read it a couple times too to make sure. Like I read it twice, but I'm like, nah, that's not right. That could be frozen prisons. Nah, that's a misprint. That's they're just joke. That's a joke. That was like me doing a bit or something on the floor. No, no, they are actually fucking serious about this. Wonderful. Nope. Al said, I'm sore as fuck and absolutely blown away by this article. Me too, man. It's just, it makes no sense. The type of stuff that these people will put into law and then make their reasoning magic. It's just, I don't understand why we can't just have a no magic rule in government. Okay, I get it that your fucking crazy book with the talking animals and everything thinks that you should, you should be able to control whether like who has babies or not, basically. I mean, that's really what this is. Force the people that don't want them to have them and don't let the people that do want them to have them. You know, it's like they're doing literally everything wrong. I don't understand how anybody can not like how is anybody okay with conservatives and Republicans? I just don't fucking understand it. They're like anti everybody, that isn't exactly their one stupid little thing. Deep State said Jewish tradition dating back before Christianity ever existed for the purpose of capital punishment, human life begins at birth. An embryo is not human life until it breathes its first breath. Yeah, that exactly. Yeah, that's my line in the sand as well. The first breath, because breathing, the breath of life. I feel like that's just there's how many things do we know that are alive that don't fucking breathe? Even like animals under that don't have like lungs and shit. They have gills. They still breathe underwater. Fetuses don't do that. They just soak in fucking fluid. They don't even breathe. Wolfo said, so are we throwing together the punk party for the next presidential election? I'll run as primary punk or vice punk. And one of us can be chief punker, kind of leader of a chaotic nation. Yeah, definitely. And I wouldn't mind. I think we need to like get Greg Graffin or Fat Mike in on this because, you know, that's who I would vote for President Punk. No, I'll be fine with like the financial thing or whatever the advisory of the. I don't know. That's funny. Andrew said, Mohawks for everyone. Goddamn right. No, they're required, okay, for at least 2 years. It's like the military in Israel or whatever. Like you at least have to do 2 years of a Mohawk. Otherwise, you got it. If you don't like it, you're leave, right? That's the conservative fucking motto. Hofa said, I've got mine already on display. Hell yeah. Punk Rockers 2024 ish, somewhere. We don't, we don't have exact dates. We're not good with that sort of thing. Jesus. So yeah, I just wanted to cover this briefly. I want to start doing these on like Tuesdays. I'm just gonna find some from like news stories that we can read. A lot of it's gonna end up coming from the Friendly Atheist blog. But I want to try to do some more stuff like this just so we can actually talk about some of the shit that's going on. And break it all down because people I think need to know about this stuff. It's too much of this type of shit gets kind of just breezed over with our news cycles and everything. It's just not as important to a lot of people, but I think this is the type of stuff that we need to be covering. So, but hey, thanks for hanging out. And if you want to be covered in semen, just go to adamandeve.com. Jesus. If you want to be covered in like pre-embryo stuff on like your face or whatever, just go to adamandeve.com, enter code word Brentley, and check out to get 50% off any one item, 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. Just go to adamandeve.com, enter code word Brentley. That's BRENTLY. And check out to get 50% off any one item, 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. That's almost 10 things that you get if you go to adamandeve.com. and it's well worth it. Okay, and it's got discreet packaging. If you're a weirdo that doesn't want anybody to know what you're doing, they do have discreet packaging, and if and they just are a great company too. They're very progressive. They give to a lot of good causes. I know for a fact they are pro. They're pro choice. Allowing women to choose stuff for themselves, right? And they're just a good company, just all the way around. Products are phenomenal. They've been doing this forever, and they just got lots of great stuff. So head to adamandeve.com and enter that code word Brently. That's Brently, and get your exclusive offer. Also, if you want to support the show in some other ways, we have a Patreon, right? Go to patreon.com/punkapostate. Or if you want to just do a one-time payment on Cash App, that's cool too. Because we do have a Cash App. So if you want to do that, and if you put in the for, there's like a little section where you can write in like what this is for, and you can write in something that I can react to. But so if you want to put like a little bit or something in there, like Ben Shapiro trying to use the lube or something like that, right? And then I can do a whole bit of like him like I can't get out or whatever. We'll figure it out. I'll work on it. Okay, it won't be just you know. But yeah, so just if you go to Cash App and enter that cash tag Punk Apostate, and you can donate whatever you want, and any little bit helps. It is really a helpful thing for me. So whatever you can do, it's much appreciated. But hey, the main thing though is to stay logical, loving, skeptical, and compassionate. And we'll see you next time.